Ohio's next governor, Vivek Ramaswamy. All right, Mr. Ramaswamy, do you think Trump should take this D.C. plan national?
I think that all of us should take Trump's D.C. plan national down to the states and to the municipalities. He's doing his job, Jesse. And you think about this, the criticisms against President Trump was that somehow he's doing something wrong by cleaning up Washington, D.C. It's actually the other way around. It is the federal government's constitutionally ordained responsibility to take care of Washington, D.C. So the real criticism should have been for a string of presidents who let Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, fester in crime for as long as it did. We're the greatest nation known to the history of mankind. Washington, D.C. is our historic capital. It is downright shameful that a family can't go walking around in the evening in most parts of Washington, D.C. without feeling safe. I'm glad to see that change. And I hope, frankly, governors and other leaders across the country take inspiration from President Trump to clean up this spate of violent crime affecting our cities. This isn't about left versus right. It's about right versus wrong. I think most people should be united behind this. Frankly, Jesse, I think they are. It's just the media that a bit creates this side distraction that we ought to learn to, by habit, ignore and focus on what actually needs to get done.
So why do you think the media does drive that and say, oh, the National Guard, he's an authoritarian?
Yeah, look, I think the media is rooting for greater division. Somehow that produces clicks, it produces media revenue at a time when many of those media companies are lacking for revenue. But that's not our problem. Our problem is actually fixing the country. I mean, you take a look at cities like in the state of Ohio. I was in Toledo earlier today, Columbus, Ohio now, Cincinnati, Ohio in recent weeks. This is an inspiration of reviving the great cities of our nation. And I think we ought to take those steps. This is common sense. This is not stuff that separates black from white, and it really isn't the stuff that should separate even Democrat versus Republican. This is basic common sense. We want law and order. We want people to actually be able to enjoy their lives in our nation's great cities without fear of looking over their shoulder for being mugged or assaulted or beaten up. That's not too much to ask in the greatest nation known to man. And I do think that that's part of the American dream that we ought to revive in this country starting now.
An American revival. I like the ring of that. Good to talk to you, Vivek. Thanks so much.